Y'all got any boneless marrow here? Y'all got the boneless marrow?
I'll take the boneless marrow with spicy Asian zing.
Could I get the marrow bone out? Y'all got, I know y'all got the traditional bone marrow, but I'm looking for the bone out marrow.
All right, are we now starting?
We already been started, dude.
Yes, the music.
The music to remind us that we have to do something today. Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
Now I have to do the podcast.
Oh, that's a good feeling when something reminds you that, oh, fuck, we go to be funny.
I was having a great time talking true shit
with my
friends.
boys.
Fuck.
With my boys.
Fuck.
Mm-hmm.
What is this thing? This is Grant's got a little roller thing. It's got two balls with pointy things on it. What is this?
That is for massaging your neck. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the We Cool podcast.
Grant sticks that up his stinky butt.
Where we apologize. We demand apologies.
Grant, I bet you stick that up your stinky
Shut
butt.
the hell up. Anonymous listener, apologies. We are trying to have a clean start to the episode.
Grant
and it's not happening.
Up his stinky little butt.
You sick bastard. I bet you stick that up your ass.
What if I did?
Smells like Grant's butt. Trust me, I would know. I would know. I know what all my friends' butts smell like.
A lot of people don't know this about us, but we're kind of like dogs when we meet up. We just sniff each other's butts a bunch.
You're like, oh, damn, y'all had Chinese food the other day.
Did you guys watch that show, Sex, Love, and Goop? It was the Gwyneth Paltrow.
You sick bastard.
Yeah, dude,
Sex,
I'm
Love,
crazy,
and Goop.
man.
I bet you saw that title and you went, I love Sex, Love, and Goop.
Grant watched that show Penis in Hand the entire show.
You know what I said? I was like, you know what really sold me is the goop, and I guess I'll just go along for the sex and love stuff.
Y'all got some goop here.
Hey, how much is the goop? Do you have the boneless goop?
Gotta go to the goop store to get some more goop. We just ran out of all our goop. We gotta get some goop so we can have sex and love.
Yeah, goop prices are going up lately.
You know what they say about sex and love? You can't have it without no goop. Y'all got goop here? Get some goop.
Yeah.
Goop prices just skyrocketing on Joe Biden's watch.
Forest goop. I love sex and goop. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The premise is stronger than the punch, folks. Sometimes the premise is stronger than the punch, and the bet ain't worth the hand.
Yeah. Well, welcome to the podcast, everybody. This is it. This is the Sex, Love, and Goop podcast, where we talk about goop mostly.
Mm-hmm.
What's wrong, Tommy?
70% goop.
I'm talking to Mike.
You're talking to Mike
Lester.
Mike Lester.
Recording the pod now. Should I say anything? Let's see.
Friend of the show.
Checks back in.
Friend of the show, Mike Lester. We'll see if he has something to say. He's headlining the Laugh Camp Comedy Club this weekend. Go check out Mike. He's
St. Paul.
Absolutely hilarious. This is a podcast where we apologize. Boys, you got any? Tommy, you said you had some stuff.
I have a lot, and it's not really that funny, and it's really frustrating. I have a lot of work drama that's like.
Well, if it's not very funny, you should do that on our comedy podcast.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy though.
A lot of it.
So, I mean, we're talking there's a gaslighting, manipulation, there's lying, there's cheating, there's theft, there's money involved. I mean, there's a lot going on.
War crimes.
I might get fired this week.
Yeah.
You know? So
did anybody listen to the shit you've been talking on the past couple episodes? For new listeners, go and catch up. I think Tommy's been sharing some thoughts for the past couple weeks on.
This has been a continuing saga.
It's of my boss, who's like a psychopath.
He's like a Joe Rogan crypto guy, essentially.
Man, he's been doing some crazy shit, man.
What's he doing?
I don't know.
You can bullet point it. We don't have to go deep into it.
Maybe bullet point it, and then if we want to circle back to it, we can, because there's a lot going on. So I'll just start off with saying that our checks have been really low, and me and all the servers have been like asking why the checks are so low, because we've renovated and revamped the restaurant, and it's now more of a cafe instead of a casual fine dining sort of thing. And our check's been really low, and they've assured us, they're like, it's fine. And then like one server, shout out to Reed, took one look at the books, and we just haven't been getting any credit card tips, which is 99% of our tips.
Of course.
It's just
Jesus.
like, so they owe us a lot of money and we don't know how they're going to get us that money. I'm meeting up with my old manager for lunch right after this podcast. And he's like a DSA, worked in like the service industry in New York for like 10 years sort of guy. Great guy. And he's like well connected with people. So I'm going to ask him for some advice. But here's what's really spicy is that they shut down the restaurant for 3 days. It's this guy's idea. He wants to renovate the restaurant and everyone missed out of 3 days of work. And it was none of our idea to miss out of 3 days of work, you know? And no one, and everyone advised him to not change the restaurant this way. Like every server, like manager, they're like, this, no one really believes in this vision that much, you know, but he's so just like has like a God complex.
And business was good. Business was good when it was like more of a restaurant, right?
Right. And I could go in the details about like why he wants to change, but it's just, he's changing it, you know?
Okay.
I mean, everybody, I think, has dealt with a boss like this where it's just like, did it start with this guy where he's like, yeah, this is a team. And if you have a good idea, that's going to win out and stuff like that.
So
like,
he does like this unity sort of thing. Like we're all a team, we're all one like family. And then he like does like isolation where he like manipulates and does weird things with people like on the side. And like I'm dealing with this guy a lot more now because both my old managers are not working there anymore, and I'm sort of running the restaurant in a weird way because I've been there the longest and I work there the longest. So before in the past, yeah, a great sign when me, the biggest idiot, is so whatever. Anyways,
running things.
Yeah, seriously, no, it's not a good idea. So. So before I would only like interact with this guy once every couple weeks, you know, and now it's every day. So I'm now like learning how crazy this guy is. And so restaurant shut for 3 days. Everyone's mad that they missed out of 3 days of pay. So then I go up to him because he does like listen to me. I am good at communicating with people, even if I don't like them, you know, I'm still like cordial and nice. So I go up to him and I say, I don't want to say his name, but I'm like, hey, so it wasn't any of our ideas to shut down the restaurant for 3 days. Everyone lost out of 3 days of work. Will there be any compensation for the 3 days of work that we missed out on? And then he goes, well, I don't like paying anybody for not working. And I'm like, I understand that, but it wasn't our idea to not work. So will there be any compensation? I'm just asking. And he kind of is, you know, he's listening to me. So he's like, let me get back to you on that. And I'm like, all right. So then I get a message from him later in that day, and he's like, I want to, you know, let's chat and stuff. So I go up to him and I'm like, did you say you want to chat? And he's busy with something. He's like, yeah, we'll chat in just a second. And then I'm in the kitchen. I go back in the service, you know, I'm going to run some food. And then he comes into the kitchen. By the way, I told all my coworkers this. So this is why I might get fired, but I'll just do the story. So he comes in the kitchen, puts $200 in my pocket, my front pocket, and just like taps it and walks away. He's like, thanks for all the work. $200 cash. And I'm like just about leaving my shift. So I like clock out and I'm just like, damn, I have $200 cash. I'm like, I don't think he gave that to anybody else. I was going to plan on telling my workers that, you know, also I make more, or not my workers, my employee, or sorry.
okay. All right.
Okay. Sorry about that.
Tommy
Coworkers. Sorry about that.
You get $200 is what it takes.
$200. Now I think I'm the boss man.
So
He's going to meet with the DSA guy. Are you going to assassinate the DSA guy?
Tommy, you need to stop making your coworkers call you Mr. Emperor Penguin. Okay.
So, sorry. Okay. First off, 3 days of work is more than $200. That's already kind of like a fuck you, you know, in a way. Like, and then next morning I'm setting up, and he comes up to me and he goes, hey, did you tell anybody about that money I gave you? And I go, no, because I hadn't yet. And he goes, because Morgan, another one of my coworkers, he's like, because she was asking for compensation as well. And I'm like, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, people are going to do that.
I'm not some genius union organizer. It makes sense that everyone had the same idea of getting pay for the work that it wasn't their choice to miss out on.
Yeah.
But you had been talking with people about that, right? At this point, or no?
Yeah, I have been. Before I went up to him, I have been talking to my coworkers and saying we should
get money. I got
for this. I was just the first one to do it because he also like does listen to me because I'm a white man. I'm not kidding. Like he like disregards a lot of my coworkers who are like not white men, you know?
Yeah.
That's
And
true.
it's like,
Mhm.
it is like a thing that I do feel and they have like brought up. It is real. So
Patriarchy is real, Tommy. I know this might be news to you.
So then he goes, don't tell anybody. He goes, well, I don't want to pay anyone else for not working. So don't tell anybody. So he goes, so don't tell anybody about that. And I go,
such a shitty
that's
position
like
to put
illegal.
you in. Yeah.
it's illegal.
Isn't
So then I go, people are going to ask the same thing. You know, it makes sense that everyone's going to ask the same thing that I've asked for. And then he goes, just say thank you. And then like walks away. And then so for the next 2 days, he's like hovering around the restaurant more because like, you know, there's so many changes and I just feel like he's eyeing me. So I didn't get a chance to like tell my coworkers or like really even talk shit. And it's just like really tense around the restaurant. But I'm like, I have this like knowledge where I'm like, I got paid and they didn't. And it feels so wrong.
Yeah.
So then I text them all. I make a group chat and I'm like, hey guys, is there a night where we can hang out? I have something to say. You know, I got to tell all you guys this because like solidarity, right?
Yeah.
And like we couldn't figure it out. So then when it was my weekend, I text everybody like the whole story, what happened. And then I say, just don't say anything while I'm at work. I don't want to have this like in-person conversation because he's been like really threatening to me and just like very threatening vibes. And then I'm like, so I think like yesterday, everybody sent their emails and brought this to his attention, which they should. And then also the fact that we haven't been getting credit card tips for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So I
what
might
do you
show
think
up.
is happening with the credit card tips? Are people just not tipping now because it's more of a cafe?
No. It's too. There's just something with the system where we take in checks. That's like it's too complicated to explain. Like, but another thing
up with the system. So there's back pay owed.
Yeah, the system is messed up. Here's another thing. Okay, and again, sorry, long story long. This is like work drama, and this isn't really funny or anything. But I thought of a new system. I thought of a way where everyone in the bathhouse between the lobby and the restaurant can operate in front of one system, and it felt like a real like genius moment because I was like, oh my god, it was right in front of our noses the whole time. And then so they go to the lobby, and I'm like, hey, what if we just use this system? And they were all like, oh my god, that's great. And it was like working great for everybody. And then because it wasn't my boss's idea, he comes up to me and he's like, so you're just going to implement a new system? And I'm like, I know this is like, I know maybe I should have ran this by you, but like everyone, you know, talk to everybody. Everyone seems really happy. And he's like, yeah, I bet they seem really happy. I bet you're really happy that they're doing their job for you. And I'm just like, no, I don't. That is not my intention.
They're doing their job for you?
It's like that they're doing your job for you. And because they're closing out checks and under this one system. And I know this is kind of complicated to explain because this is just like my job or whatever. But I'm like, no, dude, I'm not trying to get everyone to do my job. And then he's just like, just so mean. And I'm like, so this guy's got to, first he's going to fire me, I think, for going behind his back and telling everyone that he paid me under the table and not them.
Mm-hmm.
But just, isn't that messed up? You know?
Yeah, man. Yeah. Restaurant owners, I think, are uniquely psychotic as well. It's a crazy group of people. Is he the one in charge of calculating the credit card tips? Is he the one who does that?
Yes and no. My manager does, but we brought up that the numbers are off to him, and then my manager brought it up to him, and then he like looks at him and he goes, they're fine. And then my coworker took one look at them and took one look at the books. It took him 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And he's like, we're not getting credit card tips. Like, this is ridiculous.
Well, sounds like a bad situation. Sounds like somebody needs to call in a bomb threat.
So everyone's quitting.
Sounds like a job for the person that people are starting to call the Black Joker. The Joker if he was black. Me.
So everyone's quitting my job. I might get fired. I don't know what's going on.
That sucks, man.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
I care, Tommy. That's who.
I kind of care too. I just
no. Stop.
I care.
I want to go back to one thing you said, Tommy. You keep referring to it as your weekend. You keep referring to Saturday as your weekend.
Yeah, you were like
Okay.
last night. You were like,
Well-
it's my weekend, and it's like, no, it's the weekend.
It's everybody's
No.
weekend.
In the service
It's your
industry-
weekend. It's
In the service industry, people's weekends change so much.
Yeah,
so-
but it's the weekend. Like
you
if
get-
it was Monday and Tuesday, and you're like, it's my weekend,
That
yeah,
would make
makes sense. But
Yeah.
it's Friday, Saturday.
and you
See,
go,
the thing
nah,
is, I
sorry,
don't-
it's
I
my
don't-
weekend.
I have worked in the service industry for so long that I don't view any day as the
No.
weekend. It's
No.
just my weekend, and then
No.
there's just work days.
No, it's the weekend.
No, I understand that, but you also should understand.
Why?
Name all the
Why
days in
but-
a week, Tommy.
also-
are
Tommy-
you guys, out of everything that I said so far, why is this the bone to pick?
Because
for you
we're
guys?
pissed off, man.
We're
We're
fucking
trying to
ticked off
harvest
that
a
you're
little
trying
bit
to-
of comedy out of that bone-chilling story you just
We're
told.
trying to take the
Isn't
weekend
it scary?
back.
I was like super scared for a couple days because he's just like eyeing me and he's like, don't tell anybody about the money I gave you. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, man.
I just picture him like stuffing that shit right in between your tits and then smacking
my
you on the
tits.
ass and go take a walk. Why don't you go take a walk? Don't tell nobody about this.
Mhm.
Sorry that wasn't that funny, but hey,
It was interesting.
It's okay. It was worth
It's
it
something-
for
it's
the
something
weekend
to-
riff.
It was a good story.
it's
Speaking
intense.
Speaking of Tommy's weekends, how was your guys' Tommy's weekend?
Dude,
Weekend at
stuffing-
Tommy's. My weekend at Tommy's
How
was
is-
good.
Dude, you better get off my back with this weekend shit.
Well,
it's
then
completely
start-
it's completely acceptable to say
Nah,
my
It's not when
weekend.
you're not on a Saturday when you're texting.
Dude, you're
I
being
swear to
bum
God, I will quit the
acceptable right
podcast
now.
right now.
You're being bum acceptable right now. Dude.
what's that?
It's when you're unacceptable and you're also looking like a fucking bum, dude. Because you're gonna be unemployed. Because you're gonna get fired. I had a weird thing happen to me on Friday that I kind of wanted to demand an apology for.
Sure.
So I was in lacrosse at Moxie's,
Oh yeah.
and I had
Yeah.
it was like a good set. It was like good enough. I had fun. I have a joke.
Saturday.
Friday.
Friday.
so I have a joke.
Tommy's Friday.
Yeah, for one half of Tommy's weekend.
It's a good Tommy's Friday night.
So I have this joke that is like near the beginning of my set where I'm like, I went to high school with a guy who used a fake gun to rob the KFC that he worked at. You know, like he got caught right away. He was like, hey, I have a gun.
Is that a Ryan Classico bit? Is that an old one?
Yeah. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, I have a gun. Give me all the money. And they're like, Joe, you're supposed to be on drive-through right now. You know? So I do that joke, get off stage. Like I do the rest of my set, get off stage. This lady comes up to me and is like, oh my God, you know Joe? And then says his last name. And I was like, yeah, I went to high school with him. Like, obviously, you know, I was on the same football team with him. I talked to him a little bit, you know, yeah, I know him. She's like, did you not hear me shout out? She shouted out his full name after the joke. I was like, no, I didn't hear that. And so like, we're talking and then she's like, so you know his sister? And I'm like, well, no, she was like a couple grades above me, you know, so I don't really know her. She's like, so wait, you don't know his family? And I'm like, no, I mean, I wasn't like best friends with the guy. I knew the guy.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, that's like kind of weird that you're like, you don't really know him even, but you're like making fun of him. And I was like, well, first of all, it's a ridiculous thing he did. And it's a thing that you should be able to make fun of someone.
Yeah, this is on Joe.
Secondly, I'm not giving any personal information out there. I'm not doxing him. I say his first name. I say a thing that he did. I've said this joke like a million times. You're the first person that's ever said, oh, that's this person.
Yeah.
And she's like, she's just getting really aggressive. She's just like, I just think it's fucked up. You don't really know him. And
Is
you're
this,
like,
is this an older woman? Or
no,
is-
she was like probably around my age.
Okay.
And then she's like, you're like putting his information out there. I'm like, you shouted his full name out. What the fuck are you talking about? I say one thing. And then at one point she goes, I thought it would be really cool to get to know you and talk to you. But now you're just like, you're like this. And I'm like, listen, I'm
Lady.
sorry. Also, she's doing this in the middle of the
Lady.
show. Chris Maddock is on stage right now. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, listen, I'm sorry. I didn't expect this conversation to go this way, but you're being really weird and aggressive. And I don't know where to take it. And then at one point she's like, what's your last name? And I'm like, I'm not fucking telling you my last name at this point.
Yeah,
Which
even though
this
it was
is-
said so
this-
many times during the
this
show.
is-
That's such a perfect
This-
example
well,
of comedy as
okay,
the
so-
opener.
this is This is
What's your name again? Tommy. Who's Tommy?
Also, she's like, I thought you'd be cool to talk to. Be like, lady, ask anybody in my life. I'm not cool to talk.
Didn't you see my vibe?
I was up there for 30 minutes. We talked. That was a conversation we had. But
Yeah.
so yeah, she's like, "What's your last name?" I'm like, "I'm not." This is something I look back on. I'm like, I could have handled this better, but I was like, I'm not telling you my last fucking name. You know? And she's like, "Exactly. You don't want your information out there." I'm like, "Yeah, because you're insane. You're an insane person. Go sit down. Go sit down, or I'm going to talk to them and have you fucking kicked out because you're fucking weird." Basically,
You said that?
yeah, because I was getting irritated. She'd been talking at me for like 5 minutes and just been like, "You're not his friend. You fucking da, 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 da." And so then I'm thinking, I'm like, fuck, they have a poster. They have a show
I'm
poster.
sorry, man. That sucks.
And it made me feel bad too, honestly. And I don't think I should have to feel bad. I'm not really doing anything wrong there. But she's like, ask my last name, and I'm not fucking saying it. And then I realized there's a poster that has my picture and my first and last name on it, and it's just outside of the showroom. So now I'm like, in my head, I'm like,
Really Larry David.
yes. I'm like, I got to take the fucking poster now. But if I go out there, what if I go out there and they see me taking the poster down? I'm going to look like the biggest coward in the world. And there's no explanation I can have. So I go out there. Finally, I'm like, fuck it. I'm taking it. So I go out, just walk by it, pull it out, go back to my hotel room, throw it away, come back. And then, we stayed after the show. They didn't come out because she is a coward. If you're listening to this, ma'am, I fucking hate you. I hate you so much. You gaslit me. I don't even know you, and you gaslit me.
We both got gaslit.
And everybody knows you should only get gaslit by the ones closest to you.
Yeah.
That
and
is
also, well, dude, you know what else is fucked up is then Maddock is on stage and he's doing a joke about someone he went to high school with. He says the guy's full name. I'm like, what? He can do that? I can't fucking say this guy's first name and a ridiculous thing he did.
But she doesn't know that guy. That's you're missing the main problem.
What else is fucked up? She didn't even actually know Joe. It was her boyfriend who kind of knew him. I probably know Joe better than both of these motherfuckers. And I'm pretty sure he hasn't seen the joke, but I'm pretty sure he knows I do the joke, and I don't think he has a problem with it.
Well, he robbed a KFC with a fake gun. You know,
like
you're gonna have to deal with.
This is sort of
consequences.
there's like a larger point to this. This is sort of an artist's dilemma, and Euphoria kind of touched on this with Lexi's play.
Oh my fucking God.
The artist's dilemma. We all
the
know
artist's
this.
dilemma. Like, what rights do you have to other people's lives?
Yes, it's a good question, Tommy.
It's a good question.
It's
do
a
you
good
have
question.
just because you experienced it? Do you have the rights?
I do.
I say yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Everyone should be included in my little skits if I want them to.
Yeah, if it makes me laugh, if it makes me laugh and it's something someone else did and I knew that person, I'm gonna fucking say it on stage.
I'm gonna say it if it
and
makes
here's
me
the thing.
laugh.
You can't stop me from making myself look better in the past and playing up the bad things that other people did. Maybe even you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Am I lying sometimes?
That lady.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm only lying to make myself look better and others around me look worse. So if that's a crime, fuck you. There was a dude in my high school who tried to rob a bank with a brick.
That's funny, dude.
Yeah.
That's
Hey, it's
so
ringing. It's
funny.
for you. It's the mayor. He says you better give me the money. He's doing that with the brick.
Yeah.
It's like, ring, ring, ring.
No, he was like
he gets one outside of the building. He gets a jackhammer, hits the building, gets a brick off, and he's like, now to use this.
Now this was simply step one of my 47-step plan to rob this bank.
It's pretty sad, actually. This guy was he was like a really smart guy in high school.
Sounds
and then
like
he
it.
started smoking pot and his life just went horribly wrong.
It can happen to anyone if you smoke pot once.
Not everybody's going to be the success stories that you see here.
I don't smoke
three.
weed.
I know, but you did.
I get anxiety really bad and I get scared.
Well, you did when you were 12 and it didn't ruin your life.
Yeah.
Dude, sometimes comedians outside of shows and mics, they'll be like, hey, you wanna smoke some weed outside? And I'm like, what are you, insane?
Yeah.
We're gonna go on stage.
Yeah. And then I have to ride the subway home. I don't want to be high for any of it.
And then you got to
Christ,
call the
dude.
cops.
Yeah. And now I have to call the police on myself.
Now I need to
Yes.
report you.
Smoking weed, you just take a little bit by yourself right before bed and you freak out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then your heart is pounding so hard.
This guy, his life went down the shitter. And then once we graduated, he tried to rob a bank after hours with a brick. He broke a window which I think if you know anything about robbing banks, which
you do it during
yes, because there's no money out,
and there's no way to get them.
All he stole was cookies. He stole like the tray of cookies that they had there.
He's high. See, because he's got the money.
Why even steal the cookie though? But if you just broke the window, wouldn't it just be like maybe trespassing or something?
Yeah. And so he committed a robbery, and the FBI got involved, and he's probably, because if it's a bank robbery, it's a federal offense. So
he's in jail. They're like, "What are you in for?" He's like, "Cookies."
They told me not to stick my hand in the cookie jar one more time, and I did.
Stole some cookies.
Yeah, I just love cookies.
Also, I can't believe the bank noticed. Like a window's broken. A window's broken.
As soon as anything's broken, they check the cameras.
Yeah. Well, I guess
the alarm goes off when anything gets broken at a bank.
Well, the alarm goes off when you open up the cookie jar. That's when.
Dude, I just saw the Batman movie, and I love to imagine this happening, but fucking Batman
shows up and just beats the fuck out of the guy.
The Pattinson Batman just beats the shit out of this guy trying to take a cookie.
All right, well,
it's a good movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it this week.
Let's do spoilers talk right now.
Does Danny DeVito come back as the Penguin? Is this a multiverse?
Dude. No, it's what's his name?
Paul Dano, right?
Colin Farrell.
And I thought it was Paul Dano.
No, Paul Dano is the Riddler, but Colin Farrell's like unrecognizable as the Penguin. He's great. Everything is great.
All right, I don't want to hear anything else about it.
And my favorite part was at the end when you realize.
I heard the first scene was crazy.
Who the Batman is.
Yeah, you're like, whoa.
All right, let's get into this listener apology.
We're having a short episode today.
Like we said, this is the podcast where we apologize, demand apologies, and read anonymous listener apologies. If you want to submit your own anonymous apology or demand your own, go to grantwinklescomedy.com/wecoolpodcast. This one's hitting close to home for me, boys. Okay, so here we go.
You look crazy right now, Ryan. Look at Ryan's face.
He's taking a poo-poo.
Yeah, it's just crazy how I can distort my face like that, right?
You are a pretty
good
like
A
actor.
different guy.
Dude, oh my God, I'm going to rob a bank and just walk around like,
I'm going to poop. Give me the money or I'm going to poop. I'll poop my pants.
They're calling him the world's smartest criminal.
Yeah, just handing in a piece of paper to the bank teller that just says, "Give me all the money or I'll shit my pants right here, right now."
And I'm not wearing a diaper.
He's not joking, folks. Get on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I demand an apology from Grant.
Woo-wee.
It's been a while since we had, I think, somebody directly coming after your boy. So here we go. Long story short is Grant had convinced the whole of the party we were attending that I saw no difference between Steve Jobs and Adolf Hitler. It all stemmed from a heated debate about universal charging devices. And
classic start of an argument.
This is the kind of stuff that I go around talking about at parties. Or you know what it is if somebody brings something up around me that I feel like if I'm feeling a little bit, I'll just start arguing with you.
I've been there. Yeah.
Universal
Grant, you rule so hard.
Thanks, man. And Grant worm-tongued his way to convincing the party to hate me. I also want to apologize to the girl who worked at Apple that I told to get fucked after realizing my only viable option at this point was to lean in, look her dead in the eye, and say with confidence that Steve Jobs was just as terrible a person as Hitler.
So did you really convince this guy of
that? This is my buddy, who a very good friend of mine. We used to live together, and what happened was I think I was saying my argument was something along the lines of, Steve Jobs, like I was probably talking about planned obsolescence and how Steve Jobs is evil for sure. Kind of.
I don't know what planned obsolescence.
It's where things break down after a certain amount of time. Like your
iPhone, yeah. It's where they program the iPhone to
start running slower.
Run slower when they come up with new models.
Or how they change the charging port every 2 years.
Yeah.
Or how that was probably
it's crazy how it was like it was every guy's conspiracy that they did that, and then 3 years ago, they were like, yeah, we do that.
I think it's
my point exactly.
You know what else?
Tommy.
I think someone did planned obsolescence to my penis sometimes.
It gets worse. It gets worse when new guys are born.
Sometimes I'm starting to think maybe someone designed my penis to not work.
No, when more men are born, when there's more guys coming in, your penis decreases in function.
It doesn't hold a charge anymore.
Mm-hmm. This is weird. This is very weird. I think
sometimes everything just crashes.
It is funny. Okay, just to imagine they're having like a convention or some shit about planned obsolescence, and everybody's talking about different electronics they have, and I stand up and I go, yeah, I think my penis.
That's what. Now that we're on the subject,
anybody else think someone did this to their
and
penis?
your penis is out right now. You're speaking, and your penis is out. It's out of your zipper.
Feed. You can see my penis.
My penis has been called obsolete on more than one occasion.
You know my
by
pillow,
different people.
From the people who brought you my pillow is my penis. You want to sleep on that, girl?
So I think
sleep on it.
I think I'm trying to reverse engineer, because here's the thing. I read this, and full disclosure, my buddy Josh listens to the podcast. Shout out Josh. He texted me and he was like, read my apology, you coward. And I hadn't read it yet. So I went in and I was like, how do I know which one is yours? He's like, you'll know. And I found it, and I didn't remember doing this at all. Like completely. This is just I'm getting my rocks off doing this stuff when I'm buzzed up, and moving on. Scorched
you don't even remember.
This is the same. This is the same house
evil.
where
Grant, people don't realize this, but Grant's like one of the nicest guys I know. He's in therapy. You're just a great guy.
This is why Grant can't have any power. Is because as soon as he gets
the more we do this podcast, the more you talk about these college stories. I'm like, oh, you get a few Bud Lights, and Grant, he's down bad.
I go goblin mode for sure, man.
You're like me. Yeah. You're like me in everyday society.
Yeah. We kind of flip.
Yeah.
But what you saying that just reminded me of something the other night on the Late Show on Friday night. There was a really loud kind of heckler, just turned into person in the audience being very loud for the whole show.
Sure.
And the staff wasn't really doing anything. And a couple of my friends came to the show, and I was hanging out afterwards having a drink with one of them. And he was like, yeah, did you notice that lady talking super loud? I was, yeah, of course I did. And he's like, I thought you were going to go say something to her, man. I really did. And I go, yeah, it's not really my responsibility. If it was my show, I wouldn't. He's like, yeah, I was watching her just being like, Grant is an asshole. He's going to go talk. He's going to go get into it with that lady. And I was like,
yeah,
I guess, I don't know, which I really did want to. It totally crossed my mind. But when you're the MC, it's not your place to do that. You got to leave it to the venue to do it, because she had the vibe of not gonna let it go if somebody comes up to you, and it was gonna be a scene. She was gonna have to be removed.
It's always a white lady too. I'm sorry, but I've just been doing comedy and it's just always some drunk lady.
Drunk, not white, Tommy. So just try to not be racist next time.
Check your fucking privilege, Tommy.
Sorry,
check your privilege at the door.
Black people can be horrible too, Tommy.
I gotta check my privy.
I don't know if you should say that either. I don't know if either of you are right.
That's the equality.
I don't think black people can be horrible. I'll say it. I think black people are perfect little angels. I think every black person is a perfect angel, and
even OJ,
especially OJ.
Okay,
innocent. I think his son did it.
OJ, what would OJ's son be?
No, his son.
Juice?
I don't know, but his son has like a lot of things where if you look into it, you're like, damn, maybe his son did do it, and OJ is covering for him. Yeah. Listen to Crackpot has a really good episode on OJ Simpson's innocent.
But yeah, so apparently that's the vibe from my past life, is that I'm just going out trying to mix it up with people. But I have I think if you run a show, you've gotten into confrontations with hecklers and stuff.
Let's go back to this apology.
Okay. I'm trying to revert. Well, sorry, go.
You're going around. So you have this very weird argument with your friend about
this. I'm trying to reverse engineer what the argument was, and I'm guessing this is what it was, is that wait, so he said,
is this like when
that I saw no difference between, he was probably getting very angry that Steve about planned obsolescence. I'm guessing he's probably arguing that there should be universal chargers everywhere. And I'm thinking my point was basically taking some of the more extreme things that he was saying basically folding that into accusing
But
him.
how is it similar?
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know.
How are you making that connection with Steve Jobs and Hitler? Like, how did you
Grant, it's actually
how did you manipulate that?
Okay, so I'm guessing he was saying Steve Jobs is evil for doing planned obsolescence, and my angle was probably something like, dude, there are so many bigger things to worry about in the world. Why are you comparing Steve Jobs to Hitler? Why are you putting him on the same level as Hitler?
Oh, so your friend is comparing him to Hitler.
Yeah, and I'm saying, so I'm going around and saying, there's no point to what I'm doing, man. I'm purely just doing chaos right now.
Well, sometimes I found myself doing that as well, where I'm being argumentative just because I'm bored.
It's like a little skit.
It sucks. I hate that about your personality.
I'm just like, I'll take a side real quick.
If I could take
That's
one part of your personality and throw it away, it would be that sometimes you just want to argue.
I will say, if I could take one part of my personality, I might throw that away too.
Also, I'll say this, Grant. It's funny that you did this to your friend because I've done something very similar to you. Where one time you told me that you've never had.
Dude,
Grant,
you gonna repeat this right now?
I don't think this is bad. Grant said that he's never got his hair cut by a black woman, and then since he said that to me, I've told probably 50 people that he doesn't think black women are capable of cutting his hair.
That is exactly what I did. So
Josh, if you're listening, Grant has had his comeuppance.
It's the perfect essence of taking something that somebody has said, finding one thread in it and being like, that's what you mean. Yeah. And then getting the momentum of a whole party, like over the next 45 minutes to shift and just, it goes from, there's different ways to do it. You have this argument loudly in front of maybe two people and you make eye contact with one and you're like, you know what I'm saying, don't you? And you get them on your side. And then you start reframing everything that he's saying,
Ryan, did you ever take like logic in college or anything?
No, but I'll do this. What I like to do
that's what I took logic in college, and you'd be like, so
it just teaches you to be annoying.
It teaches you to be annoying. It's like, well, then you could deduce that black women can't cut hair. And
you take
one. My favorite thing to do.
Then
my favorite thing to do is like, we'll be in a green room, Grant's in it, and then there's other comics around, and I'll go, Grant, what about black women? Why do you think that they couldn't cut your hair? Do you think it's because their hair is different than yours, or is there something more sinister?
You're dead on, Ryan, because you need to put the person on their back foot.
Yeah.
You need to put them in a place of defending themselves.
But when Ryan does that, then you have to ask everybody else and go, do you guys think what Ryan is saying is true?
Yeah.
And then most people will no, Ryan's being a little stinker. And then you go, exactly. So I'm not even going to.
But then I will say, I'll say, okay, sure. But do you guys think that I would just make this up, or do you think that this is stemming from a kernel of truth?
No, that's like you're making it up.
Like most conspiracy theories, there's a little bit of truth.
And here's the main difference is that Josh is an intellectual weakling. So I was able to manipulate.
He's gonna be mad.
I was able to manipulate the entire situation.
You ever manipulate something?
And it's a little bit like a stand-up set.
I've only manipulated.
I love manipulating.
I love
matriculating and manipulating. It's a little bit like a stand-up set. You gain momentum, and then you can get a little bit farther. You can push it a little bit more. And so I start seeing the tide of the entire party start to shift. And I say, I think I can do something special here. And incidentally, this is the same.
Make everyone hate Josh.
This is the same house, possibly the same night that I urinated on the dog.
This rules, dude.
And I go. Yeah, check out one of our last episodes for that. I did. I'm sorry about that thing. But where I remember specifically being out on the porch and having the whole table yelling at Josh, and this is where we pick back up in this apology. Everyone was yelling at me, and prior to taking my leave, I looked across the room only to see Grant maniacally smiling at me.
I know this smile too. Here's the smile. Grant has his chin to his chest.
He goes down a little bit,
and he's looking at you, like one eyebrow raised, like and he maybe has his hands together, clasped together. That's the look, by the way, for the listeners.
That's it right there.
Yep.
Yeah. He's the damn Joker.
Piece of shit.
and soaking up his victory in the confusion he had sown, because that really is the point of all of
Just
it. Is I don't
truly-
believe any of it.
Grant is truly just if the Joker had Down syndrome. Just
I'm the Irish Joker,
Yeah,
baby.
you're the Irish Joker.
Because that's what's amazing, dude, is like in the fog of war, nobody knows what I'm doing except for Josh, because he knows me. Because for some reason this night, a lot of the times it would be our crew hanging out there, but for this night it was like one of the other roommates had a bunch of people
So you
over or
didn't know a
something,
lot
so we
of
didn't
people,
really
yeah.
know him. So this is just a dance between me and Josh, and it's playing out across
dance
this
of
party.
death.
Yeah. So yeah, and he said, you got me canceled from a party. You started cancel culture. So yeah, it was me, guys.
You
I
shall
started-
reap what
I
you
did it.
sow one day.
Yep,
Mhm.
maybe. This was probably probably 2016 or 17. So
Damn.
I was ahead of the curve on that one.
Yeah.
Then he said, "P.S. This podcast slaps. Thanks for making me laugh."
Oh,
boys."
thank
Hell
you,
yeah.
Josh.
Shout out to
Thanks for
Josh.
listening, man.
You racist piece of shit.
You fucking asshole.
It is
dude.
pretty fucked up what you believe.
Mhm.
But thanks for listening to the podcast, anyways.
Thank you,
Yeah, do
guys.
you guys?
I have to pee.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, Tommy, before you pee, I have a thought.
Yeah.
You know those kids that were almost for sure molested by Michael Jackson?
Do I know him?
Yeah.
Once a week.
I was one of them.
One of them. Come
It
on.
sucks. It sucks that they were molested, but in terms of like being
You're
molested,
you're right.
in terms of being molested, they kind of won the getting molested lottery. You know, like because at least like the guy who molested him was
Yeah.
Michael fucking Jackson.
yeah. I mean,
you know, and not
that's-
just some guy named Roger.
You know, I think this is a good premise. Great
Yeah,
bit,
yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
But what's sad about it is that is pretty much the exact calculation their parents ran.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
They knew the whole time.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, what you changed hotel floors
Mhm.
without telling us and for no reason. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
You're
Guess
like,
there's
it's
nothing
1
I
in the
can do.
morning. You're like,
Yeah.
it's 1 in the morning, and you're like, send Joey up,
Mhm.
and they're just like, all right, cool.
guess,
Dude, it
guess
is-
there's nothing I can do about
It
this
is so-
scenario.
It is crazy. I guess it's not super funny, but it's kind of sad and funny to think like just the kid listening to their parents argue and like the dad just being like, listen, if it's going to happen, it should be Michael Jackson. Okay. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, that's a bummer.
it
That
happens
is a
to a lot
bummer
of
to think.
kids. It happens to a lot of kids. This
Mhm.
is Michael Jackson we're talking about.
That's not. Yeah. That was.
I've been doing guy
tough
who got
doc.
I've been doing guy who got molested but has a little too much confidence on stage now.
Oh yeah.
Do you go, so I was molested?
No, I go I'm working really hard on a character. I'm working really hard on this character.
Uh-huh.
Guy who I did this with the Joey Hamburger podcast episode, but I go, guy who got molested has a little too much confidence, and I go, yeah, I had a ton of sex growing up. Fucked a ton. A lot of old guys actually. Yeah, I was hitting Father Jim's back walls constantly. I have too much confidence.
Yeah.
And I actually think that I might have to apologize for this. I did that at an open mic, and the open mic got canceled because in New York there were some patrons at the bar, and they said there was too many pedophilia jokes. And then I messaged, and I'm friends with the guy who runs this open mic.
Did
and I
anyone else
messaged-
do a pedophile joke, by the way?
Probably. It's
Well,
an
don't you-
open mic.
But you have multiple pedophilia jokes you're
I
working
got a
on right
lot.
now, don't you?
I got a lot. I'm a bad.
Do you want to take the Michael Jackson one? I'll give that one to you.
Yeah,
I
dude.
can't take any more. Well, I had this moment where
I
I was,
simply can't take
My-
on any more pedophile
My
jokes.
cup
right
is full.
now. My cup runneth over.
literally, my mouth is full.
Little
of
boys see
pedophile
me.
Jokes. But I felt bad because I'm like, you know what? I think dirty jokes are fun and there's a time and place for them, but it might not be at
At an
open
open mic.
mics when there's patrons at the bar who
eating,
are not
eating
aware of,
clams, you know.
because like we do this thing in New York, like the heckle mic, where everyone's like being racist and sexist, like ironically, but everyone's like consenting to the space, so it works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everyone knows what they're getting into.
Mhm.
And I'm like, and at a comedy show, if you're going to see a certain comedian, you know what you're getting into. So there's I came to this realization. I'm like, there's different degrees of what you can say, I think, depending on the space of the comedy show. And I can't just be, spewing filth if the patrons at the bar aren't, because like the comedians like it. They're laughing because they know me, and they're, they know I'm just being, insane for the sake of being insane, So I texted the guy, and I was just like, hey man, sorry if that was me. And he's like, no, it's okay. It actually wasn't you. It was this guy, and he had a much worse pedophile joke.
Really?
And I'm like, oh, thank God, Jesus
Tommy,
Christ.
you know what you should do with the heckle mic?
What?
You should show up. You should get a temporary tattoo of like the SS logo on your forehead.
Oh no, too far. I thought it standed for socialism.
No, this is for
dick.
sailors. I was on a ship. It said SS something.
All right, I gotta pee really quick. Can we pause?
No.
Yeah. Should we try and vamp, dude? Should we see if me and you can do it?
Dude. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Okay. What should we do? Let's try and work into something.
Yeah, dude,
work
let's talk
into a
about the
ladder.
Batman.
No, man.
It's interesting because Batman and Riddler are so similar.
I think people have accused me of being penguin-like.
I could see that. You got penguin vibes.
I got.
Why do you think they accused you of that?
Well, I think the story that we went through is a little bit like.
Okay. So it's not. There's no physical characteristics that.
I mean, I fluctuate in and out of being a penguin the same way that like I'm kind of in between like a medium and a large shirt. That's
You're
that's me
penguin, not
pushing
penguin.
towards penguin, and then I kind of go back down to.
Yeah, you don't have a big enough nose to be a good penguin, though.
No, that's true.
You have to wear a prosthetic.
A prosthetic.
Prosthetic.
Prostites. Hello, my name is Prosthetic.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think Danny DeVito as the penguin.
Slippers you're wearing?
Yeah, they're house shoes. Pretty nice, aren't they?
I don't like house shoes.
What's-
I barely like
what's
wearing
your deal,
socks
bro?
when I'm in the house.
Oh,
I feel like my
Man,
feet
I'm
get
back.
colder when I have socks on.
Tommy, do you wear house shoes or do you just raw dog it?
What are you talking about? Do I wear socks?
Like
in my
slippers? No. Another thing on top of the socks.
Tommy's so racist. He seems like the kind of guy that would have house shoes and field shoes.
apartment? All right, there you go. Wait, hold on. I gotta text my old manager.
Did Mike Lester have anything to add to the podcast?
It's a great point. And he goes, yeah. Say Keg and I are going to slap box at it.
Oh, at the live show. Tommy, plug your
Yeah.
live show, man. Oh wait, you have to. I'll do it for you. March 31st. Tommy's coming back. Tommy's back in town, folks.
I'm coming back, and then
Tommy.
And then we'll also have I'm coming back March 30th. I'm hosting a show at the Crane. I'm having some of my favorite comedians on. More.
Me and Grant
Everyone's
are
doing,
also
like-
on. And me and
Yep,
Grant too.
Ryan Grant. Yeah, everyone's doing short sets. It's gonna be really silly, goofy. I'm gonna get drunk. I'm gonna, have a good time. And yeah, if you want to just come party, then,
I'm looking at the
come to
lineup.
show.
Looking at the lineup right now, it's banging. Ahmed
It's
Khalaf, Greg
banging.
Coleman,
It's
Courtney Baca, Chris Maddock, Ryan
Yeah.
Call, Grant Winkle, Sean Nassett, Joey Hamburger, James Stanley, Emma Dallenberg, Clay Parks, aka
Yeah.
the bitch respect.
Mike Lester is gonna come through. Zach Hagan's gonna come through.
I would
Fucking-
only take one person off the show.
It's gonna be. Do you want to say who?
No, because then we'd have to bleep it. But we all know who it is.
Thank you, Tommy. Oh, I meant thank you, Ryan, for
Actually, I'm gonna say it
self-censoring.
now. I'm gonna say it.
No,
No, don't say it.
Because he can't keep his mouth shut.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll apologize though for maybe getting an open mic canceled.
Yeah.
I did kind of feel bad about that.
I'll go ahead and also sorry to Josh, sorry that
I'd like to apologize.
you're an intellectual weakling.
I'd like to apologize for all the open mics I've started. I think
Do you-
irreversibly
I
hurt
was-
the business. And
I was talking last night with Brendan Gay. He was featuring at Laugh Camp this weekend.
you met his
and,
brother Brendan Strait?
Yeah, good guy. Not as fun as Brendan Gay.
No.
But he was saying he's like, I like to go and check out the reviews to see, like, after I do a show, I'll see if there's any bad reviews at the place about me. I'm like, okay, you're fucking crazy. Why
Yeah,
would
it's
you want to
insane.
do that? But then it reminded me, and I was talking with him about how like broken you must be if you're a patron of a bar and you see an open mic bad enough for you to leave a Yelp review of the bar, like a negative review of the bar for the open. Like,
Yeah.
just talk to somebody at the bar if you really don't, or just don't go back to that bar. I'm sorry, at that
I feel
specific,
like
because hold on.
I kind of get there.
Aaron Isaacs has a very funny Yelp review specifically from it's a negative review of Galactic Pizza, calling out. It's just all about Aaron doing a set at the open mic there. And
He's writing
you
it.
should find it
We
and read it.
Okay, yeah, I can probably
Honestly.
find it. It's very funny. And but
That's funny.
Tommy, what you're gonna side with the annoyed patron on this one? Are you
Listen, I
serious?
I don't think I'm like an edgy edgelord comic or anything, and I'm certainly not a stand by your joke comic. I will.
That's I get that, Tommy, but it's also a little bit annoying that you're just like, nothing that I say, I just don't believe in
Why is
anything.
that annoying? I kind of agree with Tommy.
I believe in it, but I'm not like married to my jokes the way some comedians are married to their jokes.
Sometimes I think something's really funny, and then someone explains it to me in a different way, and I'm like, oh, I guess that isn't funny. And why? So I don't understand this idea of like you have to stand by your jokes. And it's like, no, I thought it was funny like 2 weeks ago, and now I don't.
No, and I sometimes I will stand by my jokes if I want to stand by them, but I'm not just like, I feel like sometimes comedians have the perspective, which is because I had this thought, it means it's good and it deserves to be said. And I am more of the camp of that's not always true. And if these people are at the bar, it's in Bushwick, you know, they're probably like, I signed up to go to this bar. I didn't know there's an open mic, and I didn't know that I was going to have to hear certain jokes. And I think that's fair, you know?
That makes sense.
And I don't think what I did is wrong either. I think everyone's correct. And
I'm a pegophile. I'm attracted to women named Peggy. Peggy-phile.
Yeah. I'm a pedophile. I'm attracted to women named pedophile.
Women named Ped.
I'm a pedophile file.
Sorry, I'm trying to find this Yelp review. I should be able to.
Are you a dreadophile, Tom? Dreadsophile? I'm attracted to white women with dreads.
No.
I'm not.
No.
That's not cool when you do that, girl.
I want to go back to this really quick. So the comic who hosts this mic, he posts on Facebook that the open mic gets canceled because of too many, quote, pedophile jokes. And then everyone's like, what joke? And then someone comments my joke. And then a bunch of people are like, that joke's awesome. That joke rips.
That's great, man.
And then one person's like, I hate that. And everyone's talking about that joke. And then I'm like, and then I comment under it. And I'm like, and I don't even know these people, but I'm like, that's my joke. Somebody put me down like the sick dog that I am, you know. But it was nice other comics being like, yeah, I think I've seen that guy. I like that joke. And I'm like, yeah, thanks, man.
That's nice.
Where's that conversation happening? Is that on Facebook or is it?
It's on Facebook. I'm like, I needed some support. I'm getting gaslit by my boss. I'm shutting down an open mic, and I'm like, fuck, I think I'm a good guy. Jesus Christ.
Nah,
like,
man, you're just on a roll. You're just on a roll of destruction.
I'm just like, damn, do I stink? Like, oh, fuck.
Tommy's in chaos mode.
I might be in chaos mode.
Tommy going full goblin mode. All right, I can't. I'll find it. I'll find it for the next episode or something. Everybody find this. Yeah. So I don't know. Have you guys ever manipulated anybody at a party like that?
Oh, at a party, no.
Only at work. Only at work and in relationships.
You're manipulating the workforce.
I used to gaslight one of my ex-girlfriends about what time it is every time she would wake up. She would wake up and be like, oh, what time is it? I'd be like, dude, it's 5 p.m. You missed everything.
When I was going to school in Winona, for like a semester, I would like show up to a party like drunk and do like an Australian accent the whole time and be like, yeah, I'm a transfer student from Sydney. You know, I'm liking Winona. It's pretty cool. And like, I remember like, I was doing this for like an hour with these girls, and I'm in like the pocket, you know what I mean? Like, I've developed this persona, you know, I'm Rex, I'm from Sydney.
You have a backstory.
And they're digging me, you know, they're into it. And then it gets to a point where it just gets too far. And I'm like, Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't have. I'm just like a guy. I'm from.
Are they mad?
Virginia.
Are they mad when you do that?
They go, oh, they're like, that's weird. And I'm
Yes.
like, I was doing a joke. I thought, and they're like, oh, and they were just really weirded out. And they just like, yeah, we gotta go. And I'm like, no, come on, dude. You guys are fun shit.
No, wait, I can still do Rex. I can be Rex.
No,
for
I'll
you.
bring Rex back. I'm sorry, I'm weird. I don't.
No, this was
I don't
actually a
wanna be
joke.
my-
Oh, I'm Rex. Oh, see
Yeah,
you.
hey, oh, Rex back.
I'm
Hey,
trying to
look
be
at
funny.
me.
Hey.
Zany Rex is back, and I'm like, no, please come back. I don't want to be myself. You know, it's an insecurity thing. Come on.
I'm so sad. I don't want to be
I'm so
me
sorry.
anymore.
I'm sad. I don't know who I am, so I projected and did a character. I'm 18 years old. Jesus Christ. I'm really into stand-up. I don't know where to put that energy into an open
That's
mic. 'cause
weird. That's weird. Dude, that's the worst thing to hear from a girl is you do something and then they're like, that was
I also
weird.
had that like
It
a
hurts.
month later in Winona. I also had so maybe that's like maybe a like manipulating or lying in a situation, but
yeah, that is a little bit. Yeah.
But I also had one time.
That's definitely lying.
Just like, yeah, just
So like I was going to school in Winona, and I dressed the same as I do now, which is like
bad.
a little. It's like bad and also vaguely non-binary. You know, is how I would describe my style.
Mhm.
And this like girl comes up to me, and I'm not hitting it off with like any girls in Winona. Like I could like hook up with girls in Minneapolis, but like I just couldn't do it in Winona. And I'm like, God, what's like, no one likes me. But this girl comes up to me, and she's like, we should like we like maybe talk in class at one point. She's like, we should go party hopping together. And she's like pretty cute. And I'm like, this is sick. Awesome. I would love to do that. And we go to these parties, we get drunk, we're having a good time. And then like third party, we're outside, we're having like a cig. And she's like, yeah, I'm just so glad I found a gay best friend. And I was like, I was like, oh, what? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not. I'm like straight. And she's like, oh, I was, and which is weird on her part, you know? So demand an apology from her. Don't like look for a gay best friend. That's weird vibes, yo. But
that is true.
Yeah.
Look for a
but then,
gay
but
worst enemy.
a gay, a lot of people have a gay best friend.
Go opposite, baby.
Mhm.
But then she wasn't really into like hanging out that much the rest of the night. And then I was kind of like, wait, no, I mean, I could maybe, I don't know. Who knows really, you know?
I
could
have
maybe-
thought about it, you know.
I've thought about, hey,
I'll
I've
be
thought
gay
about
for
it.
you.
I'll be gay if I could hook up with you.
If we can have sex one time,
If we can have sex, I'll be gay.
I'll be gay for the rest of my life.
If I could have sex with you tonight.
I think, yeah, I believe you were
Oh.
manipulated.
You want to give that to Bob?
Sure. Why do you have Bob's credit card? Oh shit.
It's from the 10,000 Laughs when I was a
It's
producer.
got your name on it. You should just throw it away.
I give it to Bob. Make him throw it away.
Okay. All right.
Tell
Well,
him Ryan didn't know what to do with it. You told me to throw it away, and I said, I don't think I can do that.
tell him Ryan sent you.
Sisyphus Brewing, with their vast selection of beers and other pinball machines, and they have shuffleboard and stand-up comedy, and also other live events.
I had a pretty bad time hosting that show the other night. Talk about that a little bit.
Sure.
I
had a great time last week.
Yeah. Ryan went to the open mic at Sisyphus and just did 5 minutes of all brand new material, and it all killed. Meanwhile, I was hosting the
That's our
show.
boy.
Yeah, it was. Dude, what was you were doing some little edgy stuff up there too.
Yeah, well,
Having
first I
fun
did
with it.
First I did the Ukraine thing about where I was like, I just want to dedicate this set to all the people who are still in Ukraine, specifically all the brave Russian troops who have no idea what the fuck they're doing there. And then I did this bit about how referees should have war should have referees. And they're like, all right, I want a good, clean war. Okay. No tricks, Russia. No cheating. All right.
I posted this in the group chat, but I'm not going to tweet it, but I think it's good for the pod. But I wanted to tweet, stop Asian hate, and then in parentheses, the Russian and Ukraine war. It's technically in Asia. Come on.
You're right. Well, I think Ukraine is Europe, right?
Stop it now. Stop the
Yeah,
Asian
Ukraine's
hate.
Europe. Ukraine's Europe.
So no,
You have
yeah.
no
So
idea what the fuck you're talking.
so
All right,
Tom
well,
is kind of
stop.
aligning with you
Dude, it's
because
so
Russia is
funny.
Asia. Russia is Asia.
Russia's Asia.
Yeah. It's so
And Russia's
funny
trying
how,
to, and Russia's trying to make Ukraine Asia.
I did see.
and I hate that.
I did
And
see.
I hate that. So stop the hate.
I saw Russophobia trending on Twitter today, and it's
Oh
just
they're white. Basically, most of them are white. You can hate Russian people.
Oh, I think it's
You
highly
you
encouraged
shouldn't
in
hate
this country.
anyone.
Yeah, right now especially.
But anyways, I just had a real horrible time hosting the mic the other night.
You were tired. You were too
I
tired.
was a very tired boy. That was a penguin-like moment for me.
Grant
Started
needs
your
his
host-
12 hours. He
Well,
needs his
the-
12 hours every night.
The crowd
Sometimes he
was
can't do comedy.
the crowd was just like not quite as good as they usually are at Sis Fist. And Grant, like I would say you probably did like 7 to 10 up top. And your first
I did
like
12.
okay, well your first like 5 to 7 minutes was just kind of like everything was kind of
It was very
treading.
meandering. I was doing all new too, and
But you got him by the end. By the end with the uncle stuff. The uncle stuff.
I
really
won
hit.
him over, and then I started yelling at him
Mhm.
and being mean to the crowd. And sometimes they just need to get slapped around a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
They
as long
like
as you don't
they
actually
like it
hate them.
rough.
As long as you don't actually hate them.
No,
Dude, I was hosting a show on Tuesday, and I've been having some good sets lately, but like, I mean, there's just 12 people at this bar show. Like, they're just not that into it, and I'm really trying as the host, but like, I mean, people said I did it okay, but it's just there was no rhythm, and I could not, and I just had to keep going and bringing
Mhm.
up. There's like 8, 9 comics on the bill, and I just have to keep trying. And I'm
Yeah.
like, so badly, I'm like, God, I just want to go home, but I'm like, I just have to turn it on.
And sometimes you don't have it, like that day, and then of course you have Ryan back at the back of the bar in between every comic trying to blow vape smoke in my ear and telling me to put kegging up and
Just being a menace.
and I was just and this was after I like bombed for about 80% of my set. And I just kept being like, dude, I can't do it today.
Yeah,
I
but
just
you
can't do it today. And then he starts like climbing on my back and like leaning on me.
Yeah.
I was like standing on my tiptoes and I would lean on Grant, like I got talked down to.
And
But you should have felt good about that you got him. Like, you shouldn't have been-
yeah. And it was like it's I'm a little bit of a spoiled brat when it comes to stage time here right now. So it's like I try to not take it personal or anything. If you just don't have the juice, you don't have the juice that day. But it was a little bit devastating when the next day I realized, after I had a bad time hosting, I realized I had to host 5 more times this weekend.
Yeah.
two shows Friday and Saturday, and then tonight I'm hosting at Fair State too. And I was just like, motherfucker, like, because we've talked about it before, but for the uninitiated or whatever, hosting, you just take a beating. It's not the fun spot of the show. The audience doesn't like you by design.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have a good set, like, and the thing is, you just gotta be Teflon. You gotta not take anything personally.
Yeah. Well, I got him back a little bit, because then I started doing characters in between.
You did the confident molested kid.
I did that, and then the show was sponsored by this brewery, and they were giving out some free beers to the
Sisyphus
comics.
Brewing.
And no, it's a New York one, and I forget the name. But they gave
That's
me
good.
like a hat, and they're like, "Hey, can you like give a shout out to us?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And they're like, "Here, like, want to wear this hat?" And it was like a dumb like flat brim hat, which those hats look really stupid on my face.
Yeah,
And I'm just like,
picturing it now, and it doesn't.
What was the hat that your mom bought you for your birthday?
Yeah, it was like one of those, just like.
What did it say? YOLO on it or something?
Yeah, it said like YOLO or something. So then I did a bit where I go, the show, it's sponsored by this brewery company. Here's their name. They gave me this hat. I'm gonna wear it. Ooh, when I started like rubbing my hands, I go, ooh, all right, I just thought of a new character. Hey, I'm Machine Gun Clark. And that
Machine Gun Kenny? It's right there.
Or Machine Gun Smelly.
yeah.
That's me.
And then like in between each set, I kept going up. I go, hey, what'd you guys think about Machine Gun Clark? Was that pretty good? Should I bring that back? And
Tommy, I love how you just like refuse to learn the lesson of just when you're like, if there's a sponsor or something, you're supposed to be doing business style for the venue. And you're just like, I'm gonna fucking be mean about this thing.
I'm
gonna make fun of this thing.
Because you gotta come on.
It's better.
You don't gotta, Tommy. No, because
I disagree. In this situation, with how stupid his head looks in a flat brim hat, he has to do a character, make fun of it somehow.
Yeah, you
if
look
he's
like
gonna wear the hat.
I imagine you look like a fucking water tower wear when you wear a flat brim hat, dude. Like one of those ones that go like looks like a golf tee, you know?
Yeah, it looks so stupid.
Do you still have the hat?
No, I should have kept it.
Yeah, you should have kept the hat.
What did you do with it? Just threw it away.
Gave it back.
I burnt it after I was done hosting. My
Dude,
job was done.
You really got that stupid brewery for
Yeah.
having the audacity to sponsor a comedy show.
It is one of
Yeah.
the worst investments you can make as a company.
It's
to
gonna
sponsor a
be
comedy show.
bad for you.
Mhm.
You're just
All right.
attracting negative attention.
Listen, gang, I'd love to
Listen,
sit here and
gang,
chat
I'd
for
love
the
to-
rest of my life, but
Me too, man.
I'm busy. I
What do
gotta
you got,
go.
laundry?
I actually have to
Laundry?
leave, man. I don't know if I can talk about tour business that much.
We could do it next week.
Oh yeah. Yeah, next week probably at the latest, or maybe sometime this week. Maybe we could just do like a separate.
No, I'm busy.
Tommy, when do you work this week?
They might be getting fired.
I might be Monday through Friday, but we have to see what the vibe is. I mean,
When's-
all my coworkers are quitting too because they're all walking out. One of my coworkers sent a picture to the group chat today where she goes, "Suck my cock," and then the owner's name, and then she put it on the kitchen like bulletin board.
Damn.
It's like it's serious. Like it's like,
Why don't you
There's
just
gonna
quit?
be-
Why don't you just quit and find another job?
well, I'm going on vacation to Florida next week.
You should try and get fired.
You should say the.
I think I am going to get fired.
Just
I think-
stick around until you get fired. Then you can get unemployment if you need to.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and get unemployment. I hope I get fired because if I can get 3 months unemployment, that would really help my comedy career a lot. Because I've been working every day this week from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then I've been going to do these bar shows. I've been exhausted. I slept for 10 hours today.
Yeah,
I mean,
you got no time for skits, man. You got no
yeah,
time
I've
for
been.
skits.
What do you
I've been
pay
losing
for
my
rent,
mind.
We don't need to say that on the
$1,000
podcast.
$1,000 a month
That ain't bad.
split between me and Dana. Yeah.
So you both.
So it's like 1,800. It's like 1,900 or something like that a month. and
That's
it's-
fucking
Wait,
great, dude.
we have a really nice apartment. We got really lucky. You can find something like this, but it is pretty rare.
Dude,
I
let
think
me
we-
live in your apartment. Let me live in the same building.
Yeah, here we go.
Done, and don't even think about paying me a dime, you sweet baby boy. I
No,
love
I'm
you.
saying
Come here.
building, Tom.
Mwah.
I'm not
Ryan's
saying.
living rent free.
I'm saying same building. Let me.
Just
let me-
building.
You send me the building.
All right. Well,
I'll get you in the building for free. Don't even think about paying anybody. Okay. You're living in New York for free, baby, because I love you so much.
what
a
a
one
what a
bedroom?
deal.
What's a one bedroom there? 1600.
See the 2 bedroom is just as much as like a 1 bedroom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up. Like, I don't know. I think it's because I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I have a conspiracy
All right.
theory, but
Well, if you let's say we're doing live shows
Mhm.
in Minneapolis in about a month, so we'll start plugging those. I think second weekend of April we're gonna be at Sisyphus Brewing. Tommy, Ryan,
I'm headlining.
myself.
I know it's gonna be advertised as like a triple feature, but let's be honest, I'm in charge.
No,
We'll see.
you kept trying to. We all agreed to do it as a triple feature, and then you texted us like a month ago and was like, "Yeah, so my show at Sisyphus, the Tommy and Friends show. Do you guys want like?" we're
Do
like,
you want to do spots? Do you guys
Yeah.
want to work the
we're like,
door?
What the fuck are you talking?
Ryan and
Triple
Grant
feature.
are gonna be. They'll be doing some time.
Yeah, we're gonna make you go first. You're going first both nights.
Exactly, because when it's my show, the headliner goes first.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, well, those shows are going to be
So lame.
Yeah, that was you were trying to pull a fast one on us, Tommy.
So lame.
Seriously,
April-
I'm headlining. You come out.
April 8th and 9th, we are going to be headlining Sisyphus Brewing. We're going to be doing stand up. We're not doing a live pod. We're going to be doing
There's
stand
no
up.
we and Tom. Never mind.
There is a we in We Cool, which, by the way, if you're listening to this, hit subscribe, follow us on Spotify. That helps so much.
Give us 5 stars on
means
Apple.
nothing for you, but everything to us. So hit that subscribe button. Tell your friends about the show. Come see us April 8th and 9th at Sisyphus Brewing. We're going to be doing standy.
Wait,
and,
jingle those keys again. Huh?
Tommy's into it.
What's going on?
Tommy's into the
Oh, excuse me.
keys.
What's going on? What is this?
Classic key bit.
Yep. And yeah, guys, thank you for listening to the podcast. Anything else to add, brothers? Brother Ryan,
if you're listening to
Brother
this
Tommy.
today, I'm doing a show in the East Village. I forget where, as always, but it's gonna be a show. So if you want to come out, if you're one of our 5 New York listeners.
Woo woo.
Dude, you know what New York 1 stands for? The news station. It stands for our 1 listener.
Tomorrow, the day after this comes out, Friday, I will be driving 3.5 hours to Stevens Point, Wisconsin, to make $100 to do a feature set.
Nice.
So come on out to Rookie Sports Pub. I will probably never work that club again, just because $100. I mean, come on.
And Steven, he usually makes racist points, you know.
Yeah,
Nice.
not great
Steven
takes.
point, I don't really want to hear it.
That Saturday, I'll be somewhere in Minnesota, some small town, but I'm getting paid $250 to do it, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that Friday I'm gonna be at Moxie's where Ryan is tomorrow. So or Ryan was last week. Did you pass out any download cards, Ryan?
Yeah, I passed out like 5.
Okay, cool. Well, if you're listening to this and you like the sound of my silky smooth
You
peanut
can
butter
probably
voice,
skip Grant.
come out.
Probably don't need to go.
Come out, see me. Come say hi. We'll chop it up. I got a hotel there. If you're cool, we can hang out.
Ooh,
Just drive back.
ooh.
Did you drive back?
Yeah.
Oh, no. All right.
It really wasn't that bad. 2.5 hours.
Was it a nice hotel?
No.
Was there a pool there?
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll see.
Pool closes though.
Okay, that's it.
In fact,
Thank
the
you.
hotel's mostly a pool.
Thank you all for listening, and come see me. Come see us, April 8th and 9th. Mark your calendar. We want to sell out that weekend. So,
Shell out for the sellout, dog.
yes.
Okay.
Bye.
No, bye. I have to leave.
Take us out, Ryan.
For Tommy, Grant, I've been Ryan Call. This has been the goddamn cool podcast. Hey, thank you so much for listening. To our Patreon subscribers, you don't exist yet, but you will one day. So if you're listening to this, you're probably in our back catalog.
Get behind the paywall to see Tommy spread his cheeks.
Clapping cheeks, spreading them.
Hey, you can just DM me for that.
No. Yeah, it's
Keep it behind the paywall, Tommy.
I want people to see it. So
Okay, as long as you give us some of the proceeds from your OnlyFans.
Me and Grant need our
Yeah, if you want to subscribe to our Patreon, go to onlyfans.com/Tommy the Human Noise Bayer. Get at us there.
Yeah, man. We don't have much else. Thank you for listening, and go to the store and buy yourself a
go to
nice
church.
Yeah.
nice jug
Go
of
to church.
Confess your sins.
Go get some damn milk, boy. Don't come to my ass and use my toilet paper to wipe your damn ass. Don't come to my house and wipe your ass with my fucking toilet paper,
Don't come to
boy.
my ass.
Don't come in my ass and use toilet
Don't
paper.
come to my ass.
Don't come to
Don't
my
worry,
ass and
don't
say it's
come
milk.
out.
Don't you dare wipe the cum out of my ass with my toilet paper. All right, bye.
All right.
That's how we're ending it.
That's it.